This is the new Track E timecode synced pocket audio recorder from Tentacle Sync.
Cinema 5D at IBC 2019 is brought to you by B&H, the professional source for all your video needs. CVP, the leading specialist in creative cine, video and photo solutions. Musicfy, beautifully produced music for film and video. Cartoni, supports your vision. And Fujinon, ultimate optical performance.
Hi, this is Nino from Cinema 5D. We're here at IBC 2019 and it's actually my great pleasure to be here. I'm here with Uli Esser from Tentacle Sync, and I think I have to give a little bit of a backstory. So a lot of you guys might already know the Tentacle Sync E's, little timecode generators that you can put on your camera to synchronize all your camera and audio devices. The funny thing is these guys approached me 5 years ago at Photokina in Cologne, before they started their first Kickstarter campaign. And originally you guys wanted to sell this to DSLR filmmakers, to small camera stuff, yeah? And you weren't so sure about the potential. I remember when you showed it to me, I was completely excited because I was like, wow, a tiny timecode generator. Nobody has done it before. And I think the success speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many have you sold, roughly? It's a 5-digit number.
Yeah, it's a 5-digit number.
That's incredible.
I mean, we never thought that we could sell so much of them. And I mean, we targeted to the DSLR crowd, but at the beginning, only the professional sound guys bought it because they like the small and form factor. But now we're getting there.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that I think you targeted the amateurs in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the people who ended up talking to me, like when I was on shoots, the professional audio guys would suddenly turn up with the little timecode boxes from Tentacle. It's like, wow, it's really word of mouth, and you guys went everywhere. So I'm really happy to see that it's successful as that.
Thanks.
But now 5 years have passed. You just announced a new product.
Yes.
Called Track E, and it's actually a lavalier microphone recorder, right?
It is.
Well,
so we call it Track E. So it has also the E like the Sync E, because it uses the Bluetooth synchronization technology, exactly like the Sync E. So you can basically see this like an audio recorder, a pocket audio recorder with a built-in Sync E.
So it's pretty much, it's like, I mean, everybody knows the belt packs that communicate with the receiver on the camera, so it's always dependent on having a good wireless connection, of course, which is difficult in like atmospheres like this where you have a lot of broadcast congestion. So, but this one actually is a recorder by itself.
It is. Yeah.
And so how does it communicate with the camera? How do I know?
So it does not directly communicate with the camera. So on the camera, basically, we have now the setup. Actually, we are recording this session with the Track E recorder. So on this camera, there is a Sync E device, and they are all synchronized by timecode.
So you have your existing Sync E devices, and you kind of use them as you would always do on the camera. But now, instead of having another Sync E on an audio recorder.
Exactly,
you just have it built into the audio recorder. Yeah. That's genius.
So you synchronize them all via your app once. So it's not, so they're not communicating all the time. So you only communicate or they're only synchronized once. And after that, they all run independently, so you're not
tethered to the camera.
So if you're in an area where there's a lot of wireless problems, you don't have that.
Amazing.
So
that's pretty cool. So basically, you're not dependent on any broadcast connection between the two.
No.
You only need the synchronization at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah. And they have a super precise crystal built in, so they run synchronously for a whole day. So you don't have to care about that.
Now the next question that a lot of people will have, and I had it before we started recording, how do you actually level this? I mean, it's like obviously you cannot monitor something that somebody else has in their pocket. So how does that work?
So we have an app for that. So you can connect to this device and you can set a level, but you don't have to level it at all. Because it does 32-bit floating point recordings. So even if it's leveled too high or too low, you can fix this easily in post. It's like an HDR recording or like raw recording, you know, from the video world.
So it's like raw audio.
It's a raw audio, yeah.
You can overexpose it.
You can. I mean, there are limitations, but for the normal use, yeah, it's really like you set a level where you think, okay, that's convenience. That's like a suggestion for the post-production, but they can change it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. How about recording? Does it have an internal memory, or how does it work?
It has an SD card built in, or
micro SD.
Yeah, micro SD. So you're not limited to internal storage. No.
Yeah.
So you can use pretty much any SD cards. We recommend some proper ones where we guarantee the recording with super easy to change.
Okay.
And it also acts as a SD card reader.
Oh, really? So you just connect it
with USB, and you can read directly from the device. Yeah.
And it charges probably at the same time?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Talking about charging, how long does the battery last?
The battery lasts at least 10 hours. That's what we can say now. We have to do some software optimization, and then probably it's 15 hours or maybe up to 20, but we guarantee, for now, we guarantee at least 10 hours. Yeah.
Does it supply phantom power as well?
Yes, that's a good question actually, because it not only has the mic bias or plug-in power for the normal lavalier microphones. We have also the higher, like 5 volts, for the DPA microphones.
Okay, wow.
So you can use really the high-end DPA microphones on this recorder, which is unique.
So you can also put it on a sound boom.
No, that's 48 volts.
48, okay.
Yeah, that's
so you still need the battery, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun side story, by the way. We are recording on these not because it was such a great idea by me. It was an idea by Uli. We literally forgot our microphone at the press room, and he said, let's just try it here. And I think you just finished the prototypes just before the show started. Is that right?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully everything will work, but I monitor here, everything.
We will see. If people don't hear us talking, they know it doesn't work. Amazing. So now, when can people buy it, and how much is it, and when can people get their hands on it?
The price will be in the Sync-E range. So we haven't
Which
decided
is around?
yet. The Sync-E is $249 for a single set, and
So
maybe around this, maybe a bit higher.
Wow.
Because there's also a microphone included, so
it comes with a lav mic or something.
It comes with a lav mic, but you can also buy it without a lav mic. So if you have some lav mics, it has a Sennheiser connector, the screw mount connector built in, so you can pretty much use any mic you already have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when do you plan to ship them?
Hopefully we get these out next year, in the beginning of next year, maybe March.
Okay.
But definitely before NAB show.
That's very, very cool. And you actually are still building them in Germany, is that right?
We do, yeah. So everything, also the Sync-E, is hand-built in Germany in our office.
Amazing.
So everything is calibrated and tested with love.
Cool. I am just impressed, to see a small company like yours that started with a Kickstarter be that successful and just, not being bought by a big monolith corporation yet.
No, not yet. No.
All right. Thank you, Uli. And we'll definitely want to review one of those when it's finished.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And good luck with everything. And you guys stay tuned to Cinema 5D for more news from IBC 2019. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet.